Look at the rap game. So many people are rapping about killing, thinking it's a video game. Ad libs are saying gang gang. One day he was a good boy, suddenly everything changed. Single mothers are raising these kids. She doesn't know her children's life is in vain. Now you're wondering why the title of this song, man, cause I'm tired of this. So many bodies have dropped, the cemetery is running out of bricks. Back then gangs used to stand for something, to save their black communities from destruction. Nowadays our brothers and sisters are dying for nothing, but I cannot say that because they're either killing to survive or looking for vengeance. So my people in the South are whipping dope in the kitchen, and these poor souls, I didn't have a father, I forgot to mention. An OG by the name of Melvin Farmer can testify to this because he knows what drags people into this. When blacks started fighting each other, and the Black Panthers didn't like that. Everything those brothers fought for to better our race, we stabbed them in the back. This gang life destroyed my race, and now people are rapping about no face, no case. This is what these racists want and the devil want to put us in hell's gates. Now these people now are dissing the dead. They are unaware that's what bringing the demons into their bed. Demonic lyrics is what are gonna get yourself killed. Now you're missing your homie, now you're popping pills. Now the family members want revenge. Dear Lord, please prevent him from doing this because he is going to commit the greatest sin. The cycle of retaliation is going to get more people into the graveyard. Everybody is having an opinion on how to stop the violence, but the reality is that there is no solution to stopping the violence. Grandmothers are doing witchcraft because their grandbabies have been killed. This is real, the blood spills. So many family members and his friends are killed. The streets are the devil's playground. We are so caught in this trap, looking for hope, but it seems to only hit us back.
So I've always been fascinated by the idea of things that are bigger than us, than humans. Like for as long as I can remember, I've been mesmerized by outer space. I love the stars. I love planets. My favorite planet is actually Uranus because when you think about it, Uranus is like this sore thumb out of all the planets. Like, it's not as detailed. It's not as textured. It's just like this smooth, plain toothpaste colored icy planet. And I mean, it has rings like Saturn, but its rings are kind of like invisible to the human eye. And it's like flipped on its side in like a weird way. So it's kind of just looked over. And I guess I could say that I also really like it because I myself feel isolated a lot, which is also something that I say I get from my parents. And I know that's weird because it's not like, like my smile or my eyes or something. But oddly enough, both of my parents were the black sheeps of their family. My mom, she's a Jamaican immigrant. She was born in Kingston, Jamaica, and both her parents had her when they were very young. So she was raised by her grandmother. So out of all her siblings, she had the weakest connection with her parents because when she was a baby, her mom moved to Canada and her dad moved to America. So she kind of really became independent at a very young age. She always talks about how she really understands that it does take a village to raise a child because of how her family had stepped in to raise her. And oddly enough, that is something that my dad said he had really admired about my mom, her strong sense of family. Because, he is from the South. He is from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So it's a very, tight-knit family community. There's a lot of love. And I was born in Baton Rouge, so I definitely feel the love. But even there, there's this sense of feeling different, and it's not like the kind of different that you want. My dad specifically, being raised in Baton Rouge, the South in the 70s, he and his family experienced a lot of racial prejudice. I mean, he and his siblings were the only black kids going to their white school at the time. They were the first black kids in the neighborhood, and they were doing pretty well financially, and people just didn't like that. So they were bullied at school. They had trash thrown in their yard. They were called the N-word on their way home. They were accused of lying and stealing. And kids with my dad and his brother, they try to isolate them, and a bunch of white kids would all try to gang up on them. So it'd be like, one of my dad against all of them. And they all coped with it in different ways. But my dad became a fighter, and he started fighting back, and he started fighting everyone. So he kind of became known as a problem child, and he was ostracized in that way. So, my parents, they both had very different childhoods in different countries, but they both had to grow up at an earlier age because of their different circumstances. And, they've been divorced for a while now, but, they have that connection through their childhoods. So I sit here and sometimes I just think, okay, I feel different. I feel isolated, but what's my story? Why do I feel that way? What are my invisible, turned upside down rings? And then I think back to my family, and I'm like, you know what? It's all of it. It's the hurt, the pain, the dysfunction, but it's also the success and the triumph and the legacy. I think legacy in the Black community is something that is so unique. I think about my mom and how she came to this country 20 years ago, and how she still maintains her Jamaican roots and her heritage, and my dad and how his roots are literally embedded in this country's history, built off the backs of our ancestors. My great-grandfather was a slave, and later in his life, when he acquired land, he said that he wanted his family to grow up on that land, generations. And I have realized that all of the generations in my family put everything that they have into the future generations. So I have to remind myself that I am the legacy. We are the legacy. The little Black girls and boys right now are the legacy. And I think our job is to honor the past by shaping the future. And yes, to go back, I think that everything is bigger than us, but that doesn't make us small. I'm sorry, I ramble a lot.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won.
I too sing America. I am the darker brother. They send me to eat in the kitchen when company comes, but I laugh and eat well and grow strong. Tomorrow, I'll be at the table when company comes. Nobody will dare say to me, eat in the kitchen then. Besides, they'll see how beautiful I am and be ashamed. I too am America.
I can't exactly tell you what it is. It doesn't even have a name. If you look like me, you probably know exactly what it is. We hold it in our feet, always ready to run. In our hands, always ready to defend. In our lips, always ready to argue. We hold it in our eyes, forced to hold back tears. In the back of our throats, in the office. In our pockets, at school. On the back of our necks in a store. Under our do-rags and bonnets and hair wraps. It's uncomfortable. Painful sometimes. Heavy and inconvenient. It's on our children, sisters, brothers, mothers, fathers, cousins, grandmas, and grandpas. We could never get rid of it. You'll never know it. And we'll never show it. It's just it.